Every single person walking this earth has potential. But potential means nothing without effort. Potential is wasted when we wait for motivation to show up and carry us towards success. If you want to be great, not average, not good, but truly great, then you need to force yourself to be the best. Nobody is coming to push you. Nobody is going to make you wake up early, train harder, study longer, or outwork your past self. That job is yours. And that's the price of greatness. Every individual is born with a unique set of talents, interests, and potential. From a young age, we're told we can be anything we want, that the possibilities are endless. But what most people don't realize is that potential means nothing without the grind behind it. It's like owning a high-performance vehicle and never learning how to drive. You can have all the natural ability in the world, but if you don't develop it through effort, that ability remains dormant. The world doesn't reward those who execute consistently. There are people out there with half your intelligence, half your talent, and half your skill set, but they are ahead of you. Why? Because they showed up, did the work, and kept showing up even when it was hard. Potential might give you a head start, but it's effort that determines how far you'll go. It's not about what you could do, it's about what you choose to do every single day. That choice is what builds momentum, what separates the dreamers from the doers, and what turns average into exceptional. We often hide behind our potential as a safety net. I could have done that, we say. If I really wanted to, I could have succeeded. But those are just comfortable lies. The truth is, effort requires vulnerability. It means putting in the work and risking failure. It means showing the world who you really are, not just who you say you could be. That's why many people never tap into their true capability. They're too afraid to give full effort and come up short. But only those who are willing to give their all, despite fear, unlock the real power of their potential. Action. Effort is what sharpens talent, what molds raw skill into mastery. Think of any expert, any elite performer. They didn't get there by relying solely on what they were born with. They put in the hours, the repetition, the pain, the sacrifice. They turned potential into performance. So while potential might inspire you, it's your daily effort that defines you. It's your daily effort that defines you. It's not the gift that matters. It's your heart. You're willing to push yourself to use it. One of the hardest truths to accept in life is that no one is coming to rescue you from your struggles. No one is going to knock on your door and hand you your dream life. The world owes you nothing. Not success, not happiness, not even a second chance. If you want anything worthwhile, you have to go out and build it for yourself. Waiting for external validation, help, or the perfect moment is a trap. Life doesn't wait. It moves forward with or without you. And the longer you depend on someone else to push you, the longer you delay your own growth. Too often, people look outside themselves for inspiration or permission. They scroll endlessly through motivational videos, podcasts, or quotes, hoping that one of them will light a permanent fire. But that spark can only come from within. True motivation is self-circumcised. It's forged through repetition, discipline, and personal accountability. You must wake up each day and choose to move forward, even if you're tired, even if you're unsure, even if you're scared. That choice belongs to you, and it's your responsibility alone. This mindset shift is powerful because it places control back in your hands. The moment you stop blaming your circumstances or waiting for someone to guide you, you begin to take ownership of your path. This doesn't mean you never seek support, advice, or guidance, but it does mean that the ultimate push must come from inside you. Your drive needs to be stronger than your excuses. You need to become the voice in your head that says, "Let's go," when every part of you wants to stay comfortable. Those the difference between those who chase goals and those who achieve them. Becoming your own motivate requires inner strength and mental discipline. It means developing a standard for yourself and holding to it regardless of whether anyone is watching. Nobody else can hold you accountable the way you can. When you embrace the idea that your success is your duty, not a gift, not a favor, you start showing up with a different kind of energy. That fire doesn't burn out easily because it isn't dependent on moods or moments. It's built from conviction, and that makes it unstoppable. Growth and comfort cannot coexist. Every person who has ever achieved something extraordinary has one thing in common. They walked through discomfort and kept going. Whether it was waking up early, training through exhaustion, or pushing through self-doubt, they didn't turn away from difficulty. They embraced it. Discomfort is the place where change begins. It's where your body, mind, and character are tested and shaped. Most people run from that place. The best, they live in it. Comfort feels good, but it's deceptive. It whispers to you that you're doing okay, even when you're stuck. It convinces you that things aren't so bad, so why push harder? That's the trap. Because the longer you stay in comfort, the more you decay. Progress doesn't happen in the easy moments. It happens when you challenge yourself, when you take the hard road, and when you lean into the grind. Greatness doesn't show up during moments of relaxation. It's forced in early mornings, late nights, and countless reps in between. Discomfort also reveals who you really are. When things get tough, when you're sweating, failing, or doubting yourself, you find out how much you truly want it. You either quit or you keep going. That's when real growth kicks in. Most people never reach their potential because they tap out too early. They avoid discomfort thinking it's a sign to stop. But in reality, discomfort is proof that you're doing something right. It means you're stretching beyond your limits. And that's exactly where transformation lives. To become great, you must learn to seek discomfort. You need to train your mind to recognize hard things, not as threats, but as opportunities. It's not about loving the pain, it's about respecting it, knowing that every uncomfortable moment is sharpening your edge. When you stay in the zone of resistance, your threshold expands, your standards rise, and slowly but surely you evolve into someone who's not just capable of success, but built for it. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes with your mood, your environment, or even the weather. One day you feel fired up, ready to conquer the world, and the next day that fire is gone, leaving you with excuses. That's why relying on motivation is a trap. It's unreliable, inconsistent, and emotionally driven. Discipline, on the other hand, doesn't care how you feel. It's not dependent on inspiration. It's built on commitment, the kind of commitment that shows up every day, even when you don't feel like it. Discipline is the real driver of success. It is the quiet force that wakes you up at 5 a.m. when you'd rather sleep in. It makes you show up to the gym, the desk, or the grind day after day. It doesn't beg for attention. It doesn't need applause. Discipline is what keeps you locked into your goals, even when the results are slow and the process is draining. The most successful people in the world aren't constantly motivated. They are constantly disciplined. They built routines, structures, and habits that carry them through the lows. While motivation is emotional, discipline is intentional. It forces you to make hard choices repeatedly, not once in a while, and that momentum becomes unstressful. Did it eat? This can be in answer, but they are not going to have in every success is not the product of passion alone. It's the outcome of disciplined effort, repeated over time. The beauty of discipline is that it builds character. Every time you push yourself to stick to the plan, you gain confidence. You prove to yourself that you can do hard things, that you can delay gratification, say no to distractions, and honor your commitments. With discipline, you are no longer at the mercy of external factors. You are in control. And in a world full of excuses, that control is a superpower. It's not glamorous, but it's effective. It's not loud, but it's consistent. And in the long run, consistency beats intensity. Every time. No one becomes great by accident. Legends are not made through luck or good timing. They're made through relentless self-pressure. The kind of pressure that doesn't wait for someone else to set the bar. They set it themselves, and then they raise it again and again. They don't just meet expectations, they shatter them, because they expect more out of themselves than anyone else ever could. That internal fire, that demand for excellence, is what separates the truly great from everyone else. When you pressure yourself to constantly improve, you stop competing with others and start competing with your own potential. You're not satisfied with yesterday's results. You're not looking for praise. You're chasing progress. Legends understand that comfort is the enemy of growth. That's why they voluntarily step into pressure zones. They embrace hard deadlines, high standards, and difficult challenges, not because they have to, but because they want to become someone extraordinary. This kind of self-supplied pressure isn't about stress. It's about purpose. It's about holding yourself accountable when no one's watching. It's waking up and saying, what can I do today to be better than I was yesterday? It's rewriting your standards daily and refusing to settle. When you expect the most from yourself, you stop making excuses and start finding solutions. You don't rely on circumstances, you create results. That is the mindset that builds legends. Brick by brick, rep by rep, day by day. Relentless self-pressure also builds resilience. The more you push yourself, the more you expand your capacity. You get used to doing the hard things, and eventually they become your new baseline. What once seemed impossible becomes your starting point. And the best part? This kind of mindset is available to anyone, not just the gifted. You don't need natural talent to apply pressure. You just need a standard, a reason, and the will to chase it with everything you've got. In a world where mediocrity is often accepted, setting high standards for yourself is a revolutionary act. Most people do just enough to get by, enough to not get fired, enough to avoid discomfort, enough to be okay. But if you want to be exceptional, okay is the enemy. You have to raise the bar for yourself and refuse to lower it for anyone or anything. Your standards should reflect the future you are aiming for, not the past you're trying to escape. High standards are not about perfection. They are about consistency and integrity. It means doing the right thing when no one is watching. It means choosing discipline over convenience, long-term gain over instant gratification. Your standards define your behavior. If you want elite results, you must adopt elite habits. That starts with deciding who you want to be, and then demanding that version of yourself shows up every day. Not just when it's easy, but especially when it's hard. But setting high standards isn't enough. You must also protect them. You can't afford to let them slide because you're tired, discouraged, or tempted by shortcuts. Every time you allow yourself to fall below your standard, you weaken your momentum. On the other hand, every time you uphold that standard, you reinforce your identity. You become someone who doesn't fold under pressure, someone who follows through. Over time, this identity becomes solid. And solid people build solid results. Your standards should make people uncomfortable, even you. If they're easy to reach, they're not standards, they're suggestions. Challenge yourself to grow into the person who meets and exceeds them. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your standards. So raise them, protect them, and let them guide every decision you make. Because how you do anything is how you'll do everything. And your standards are the foundation of everything you build. Readiness is a myth. If you wait until you feel fully prepared, you'll never start. If you wait until conditions are perfect, you'll wait forever. The truth is, transformation doesn't begin when you feel ready. It begins when you force yourself to act. The process of becoming your best self requires pressure, resistance, and discomfort. You have to force yourself into the fire of discipline before the flame of confidence ever starts to burn. Growth is not passive. It requires aggressive, deliberate action. Most people assume that those who succeed have some special internal drive that always keeps them going. But in reality, the most successful individuals often don't feel like doing the work either. They simply do it anyway. They understand that action breeds motivation, not the other way around. You don't wait to feel energized to take action. You take action to create energy. You build momentum by pushing through resistance, and in that process your identity shifts from a dreamer to a doer. When you force yourself to show up repeatedly, you begin to rewrite your mental script. You no longer see yourself as someone who avoids pressure, but as someone who thrives under it. Each time you take control, even in small ways, you reinforce belief in yourself. You prove that you are not at the mercy of emotions, excuses, or circumstances. This self-trust becomes the foundation for transformation. It's not about pretending you're perfect. It's about proving to yourself that you can push through imperfection, waiting for the perfect mindset, the right environment, or a magical burst of confidence is simply a way to delay growth. You have to move forward with doubt, with fear, with uncertainty, because that's how courage is built. Forcing yourself to be the best isn't about being reckless, it's about being relentless. It's about showing up when it's hard, doing what others avoid, and building a life that most people will never taste because they waited too long to start. So stop waiting. Stop hoping that the right feeling will arrive or that someone else will show you the way. You are the way. Your future depends entirely on the pressure you apply today, the discipline you build, the standards you set, and the action you take, even when you don't feel like it. Force yourself to rise, to endure, to grow, because greatness doesn't happen by chance. It's created by those who demand it from themselves. Every single day. You have the power. Now use it. And force yourself to be the best.